friends. Today we are going to discuss about World Wide Web and HTTP. So before getting into this, when it comes to internet, the internet is known to the world because of an application called World Wide Web. Most of us used to confuse the World Wide Web with internet. Okay, if you ask what is internet, everybody used to say World Wide Web. See, first we need to distinguish what is World Wide Web and what is internet. See, internet is infrastructure. It is made up of components, right? It is made up of routers, switches, right? Interlinks, media, right? So probably your internet deals with layer 3 till layer 3, and it is all about hardware or infrastructure. But what about World Wide Web? World Wide Web is an application that interconnects all the resources around the globe through this internet facility. Okay, so this is the difference between World Wide Web and internet. So let us get into this. So when it comes to architecture, the World Wide Web today is distributed. It's just basically a client and server model. Okay, and the client requests for a service and the server provides the service. Okay, so that's why it is called as a client server model. But World Wide Web will not function as such. Okay, it is going to have multiple components, or I could say multiple modules. Okay, all these modules are going to bring this World Wide Web to life. So what we are going to discuss here is one is client server, uniform resource locator, and cookies. Okay, and it is the not this is not only the required components for World Wide Web, but these are the basic components that makes this World Wide Web architecture. First, so this is an example for World Wide Web architecture. So for example, we have a client. So let us assume this is our browser, our machine. So I am trying to request a particular web page. For example, this is google.com. Okay. So I am requesting the web page. It is going to site A, and the Google site, if it is going to have the particular web page what I am requesting, it is providing back a response, and I will be getting the web page. So what happens? Ultimately, you can view what you are actually requested. But again, what I am trying to do is again I am trying to make another like a request. So this time it is for some other website. For example, this is Microsoft.com. Yes, this is going to a particular site, www.microsoft.com. So they will be having their own server, and the site will give you the resource. Yes, it will be again coming back to you. But before getting into this entire World Wide Web concept, see, this World Wide Web, it is actually made up of few components. The very important thing is called web page, or otherwise we can say web document. The second thing which makes this World Wide Web possible is called HTTP, very important protocol called HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So when you request, right, so the request what you make is going to a proper site, and again you are getting a response. This is because of HTTP. And the third one is called URL, that is called Uniform Resource Locator, which is nothing but it is going to give me the location of the particular resource, where it is actually located. Okay, so we mentioned URL. So for example, one particular URL can be like www.google.com, www.google.com slash particular image like Vijay slash image slash download. So this entire entity is called URL. So what this URL is going to point is it is going to point where the resource is actually located exactly. So now we'll see what happens in the browser. Okay, so we can see in this particular image, so this is the browser arrangement in our device. So what it is actually going to have? So browser is going to connect various applications, okay, especially application layer protocols like HTTP, FTP, Telnet, SMTP, and it goes on. Okay, so here let us assume I am going to use HTTP for accessing World Wide Web, and it is going to have a controller that is going to point out, that is going to connect me to a proper application. Okay, and then you can see, right, the controller is going to connected with APIs. Okay, and this APIs is going to directly access our web pages made up of some web document. Probably like we need to create a web page. The resource content is created using some kind of languages like HTML. So we all know what is HTML, that is hypertext markup language, and JavaScript, yes, or otherwise it is Java. So what we need is interpreter, okay, which is connected to the controller, and the controller is going to connect the other side, the application layer protocol. So then we can make our request possible. This is the arrangement what we have at our browser side. Okay. For example, I don't have a JavaScript installed, or I don't have a Java, like in my browser. Okay, plugin is not available, means definitely it is going to show me an error. Okay, or otherwise it will ask you to install a particular interpreter. Okay, so this is our browser side. So now URL. So URL is going to have a proper syntax. So the protocol, okay, what protocol I am going to use, that will be the first. After that you will be having a colon and double slash. So this you can see, right, whenever you type a URL, right, on top of your web browser, you can see this, okay, http colon double slash www dot kind of like gmail.com, okay, or after that we have a structure, you can see here. So it is first entity of URL is called protocol, the second one is called host, the third one is called port number, and the last one is called path. Okay, so for example, you take our college website, okay, so http colon double slash, let us assume like here I have a host like savita.ac.in colon 8090 is our proxy port number slash path. Okay, what is the path? Okay, for example, I want to download a content from library, so it will be like library slash download slash let it be like ferozon.pdf. Okay, so this is going to be the entire structure of URL. Next, we are going to discuss about web documents. We are not going to discuss about web document too much, okay, but we are going to discuss something very basic, okay. So what are these web documents and how it is made up of? Okay, so the documents in www can be grouped into three broad categories. Yes, this is what we are using actually today. So one is called static documents, which is made up of basic HTML, and another one is called dynamic documents. Yes, it is made up of kind of like dynamic HTML or DHTML. Okay, and active documents. Okay, see today you are seeing all the web pages. All the web pages are like active web pages. Okay, so it is like interactive web pages. Okay, so that is the third category. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about three important topics. One is called static documents, and another one is called dynamic documents, and another one is called active documents. Okay, so first we'll discuss about static document. Very simple. So a client is going to make a request. It is a HTTP request. It is going to the server, and then again you will be getting a static HTML document. Okay, I told already static documents are basically made up of HTML, that is hypertext markup language documents. It's a very simple static document tool through which you can create a web page. So I think this is not necessary. Now we'll talk about dynamic document. Okay, so yes, so dynamic document, again the client is going to make a request to the server, but here server is going to run the dynamic program. Okay, and the content is fetched from the server, okay, through a dynamic program. Okay, so here the dynamic HTML document is an example for dynamic content. Okay, for example, dynamic HTML is nothing but DHTML. Okay, or even you can go for XML. Okay, but XML is used for more or less like parsing, okay, rather than dynamic content generation. Okay, so now you can see dynamic document using server side script. So we can say like client side, there are two types of script. Okay, like generally what we have when we access dynamic document is like server will be running the script. Okay, I already shown in the previous diagram itself, there is a program running at the server side. So you can see in this example, client, and it is making a request to the server, and server is running a script. You can see here, run the script of S inside the HTML document, so that what happens here, you can fetch the dynamic content. Okay, so there is a difference between HTML and DHTML. So once you know how to create content using DHTML or web page using DHTML, then understanding dynamic document will become even more easy. Okay, so just I am giving you an insight about what is there with dynamic HTML. That's it. Okay, friends, this is all about World Wide Web, especially when it comes to World Wide Web. We discussed about contents. Okay, here we discussed about a static content and dynamic content. Okay, so this is the part 1 video of World Wide Web and HTTP. Okay, so this will be, I think this will be the end of our video 1. So you'll be getting another video. That's the continuation of this particular video, part 2. Yes, so this is all about this particular video. Yeah, thank you.